Hello and welcome to the Founders Log, our regular look back on the previous month. So October was the previous month, Carl. Did you get up to anything? Sorry, you're in the deep end.
Well, yes, I was in the deep end because you were in Albania, away on holiday with the family. So I was running the ship, as you might say.
Yep, it didn't sink, so that's good. You missed the icebergs.
Yeah, no, it was okay. There were a few days in which it perhaps got a touch busy, but nothing out of the ordinary. Lots of upgrades of accounting applications, if I must note.
That's good to know. It's tax calc, wasn't it, that came out of an update?
Yeah, tax calc, and obviously everyone who uses tax calc all comes at once going, can you upgrade it, can you upgrade it, and upgrade it, and so forth.
I've only got, for me, there was only three things that were really much of interest last month, and it was all leads, all leads that came in. So we had 3 leads altogether. 2 of them came to me through LinkedIn.
Yeah.
They'd seen us on LinkedIn and got in contact. One was a data analytic company who got in contact. So they were working out if they should stick with Microsoft Office or move to Google Workspace. And they'd actually put a post on LinkedIn asking people what to do. And of course, you know what happened. All the familiar faces from the Microsoft world go on there stating untrue facts about why Google Workspace is the wrong product to be using, and you shouldn't be considering Google Workspace. It's not for big businesses or anything like that. All the usual stuff.
Yeah.
Which I hadn't seen this post. They contacted me because they knew we specialized in Google Workspace, and they sent me a link to the post that they posted, asking if I had any comments on it.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not going to click on that because I know exactly what it's going to be, and there's going to be a load of people who IT support companies that only do Microsoft saying that Google Workspace is absolutely rubbish. You should definitely not use it. It's the most insecure platform of all time. All that nonsense. And he went, no, you didn't. For not seeing it, you got that pretty much spot on. That's exactly what everyone was saying. Yeah. So I had a good conversation with them online, and they were going to be they wanted to book a video call to have a discussion about it, but after that it went dead. Just got ghosted by that one. Never had any video call happen or anything like that. And the same thing happened on the second lead I got on LinkedIn as well. So this was another company that I've been connected to the person for a long time, to be fair. And they've seen our Google Workspace content that we stick out there and our knowledge and showing people how to do things and how to use Notebook LM and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. They have Google Workspace, but they get none of this from their current IT support provider. They've actually said that current IT support companies is disastrous. They don't provide anything of any use or anything like that. And they're not getting the best out of the software. They're clearly paying for stuff that they don't need to pay for, like Calendly, because they weren't aware appointment scheduling was built into Google Calendar and you didn't need to pay extra. And again, went well. I was in Albania actually when they messaged and wanting to book a video call when I returned. Dropped a message when I got back. If they wanted to book a video call, nothing back. Dropped another message earlier this week. Yeah. And again, absolutely nothing back from them. Just completely and utterly ghosted. But they're all active on LinkedIn because they're all posting and commenting on LinkedIn. So they're clearly just ignoring the message and not replying back to it, which is frustrating because it's fine to change your mind and go and decide, actually, no, I want to stay with the rubbish IT I've got. I like it being bad. There's nothing wrong with that if that's the way you like it. But, it's courteous just to say, hey, tell you what, James, I've changed my mind. I don't want to go ahead with it at the moment. Don't want to talk about it at the moment. So thanks for getting in contact and checking. But, it's not for me at the moment, and I move on. But when you just ghost somebody, it's just pure rudeness, in my opinion.
It is. Absolutely. Too much of it. Too many people.
And then the final lead you dealt with. It was the oil drilling company.
Yes, it's a business that recruits people into the oil drilling industry. Yeah, that's right. And they had a problem with some loss of data. I won't go into any more detail than that, but some loss of data. So I did a lot of investigating of the Google audit logs over October, lots of digging in the logs and lots of finding the evidence and what happened to the data that was needed. So that was a bit of a challenge, a bit different, not what you do all the time.
Yeah, and they became clients of ours. Was it in October? Or have I get the months muddled up? Did they sign with us in September? I thought it was October. They signed with us.
No, it was October. They came in early October. Yeah, that's right.
They found us the most normal way that people find us organically through the internet, through Google search and all that kind of stuff because of our content we have out there.
Yeah, that's it, by Google search, yeah.
It always seems to be the most successful way of getting new clients through Google search, really.
It does, yeah.
And yeah, like you said, I was over in Albania for 2 weeks of the last month. So even though I was over there, I managed to get 2 videos out. One was actually our Google Workspace client story with the guys over at Mac Servicing with Therese, who did a nice story about how she used Google Workspace for work and how it helps her out. And then at the start of the month, I did a email on how to an updated video on using mail merge inside Gmail, because a lot of people don't realize mail merge is built in. And the previous video we did have, while correct, was out of date because the UI had been changed slightly and stuff like that. So I did a fresh video on that to help people follow it. And I also did a follow-on blog post with that as well that takes people through some GIFs and things like that, showing them how to use it. Then I did an update on our blog post about why has my email ended up in spam. Because there's quite a few reasons your email can end up spam, even if you've got all the correct settings in, like SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. The other side can have a misconfiguration and your email ends up in spam, because we have a couple of clients who always think always want to know why their emails have ended up in spam for somebody else. Not all the time, but they get the one odd email that ends up in spam, and they ask us to have a look into it, and can't really do much apart from saying it got sent correctly, because we have no access to the other person's email system. So this blog post explains the possible reasons of why it ended up in spam, but the recipient is really the only person who's ever going to know the reason why that happened. And then I did a blog post on that new feature on the Android phones, the one, Carl, the one enable theft protection.
Oh yes, that was popular, that.
Yeah, that's the one that's really handy if you live in somewhere like London, where phones get snatched out of people's hands all the time. It's basically snatch detection. So using the accelerometer and some other things inside the phone, it detects when a phone has been ripped out your hands, and it automatically locks it for you, which is super handy, because an unlocked phone is incredibly has no value to it compared to a locked phone. I mean, to an unlocked phone. An unlocked phone has a lot of value because you can access all the apps, hopefully, and get in there and do stuff.
Very true. The other day I was using my phone, and somehow Monzo had got itself where it didn't require authentication to open the app. It just, one time it just opened. I tried it again, it just opened. And that's the exact reason you should have authentication to open your banking apps, because if you get that phone unlocked, you're in big trouble. Yeah,
especially if the app's playing up like that, because it is really meant to not do that. And then for the first time in ages, I created 2 new case studies for Mac Surfacing and Zap Shelter, and how their partnership with Kimbley IT has helped us out. And I've always struggled with writing case studies. Everything else I don't find it difficult with, but case studies I always find it slightly hard. So I used Notebook LM to create that, Carl. I gave Notebook LM the sources, told it the outline of what I wanted, and it came up for a rough draft of a case study, which I then modified to how it should really be. But it was a great starting point for creating a document that I find hard typically to create from scratch.
Yeah, it's good. That good use.
And it also gave me an audio bit as well that I've stuck on the site as well, the audio podcast as well, for people who don't enjoy reading or can't read. They can now enjoy that case study as well. Then assistance and support statistics. So it was quite busy, to be fair, in October. It was 150 people got in contact. Well, 150 times. It could be the same person multiple times, but 150 times. Out of those, 122 wanted assistance, where they want to know how to do something better. And 28 asked for support, where they need something that looking at where something's not, probably a printer, where a printer's not working properly, or they need a printer connected to a computer. And so out of those, the ones that asking for assistance, 92 of them got a back to work with knowing something better within 5 minutes of getting in contact. And then there was 27 who took between 5 to 30 minutes. 2 interactions took 30 minutes, but less than an hour, and 1 interaction took over an hour to complete, which I imagine was, I think it was me setting up a computer, actually. I think that was where someone swapped computers over at one of the accounting firms, and I ended up having to set up the computer, and it took longer than expected.
Yeah, I remember that. It was the one with the account you couldn't get signed out.
Yeah, something along those lines. With Windows playing up. Technically, I should probably put that as a support one rather than assistance. But anyway, out of the subscribers who wanted support, 17 received a complete interaction and returned to their work within 5 minutes. 10 received a complete interaction and returned to their work within 30 minutes. And 1 took over 30 minutes, but less than an hour. And out of everybody got in contact, 145 subscribers contacted us through our unique instant messaging service, which is always the quickest way to get in contact. 4 emailed, and 1 used Google Meet for a video call.
Yes.
And then we normally give statistics about how many of those people wouldn't need to get in contact if they had regular training, but the reporting's gone wrong on that on one of the questions. So I've skipped them out on this because it's a ridiculous number it's come back with, which isn't correct. But that's everything that I've got to wrap up for October, unless you've got anything you want to add to that, Kyle.
No, I think that's covered it all.
There you go. So we'll be back next month for our before November, and then we'll probably be doing another one for our annual yearly wrap up as well.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'll speak to you soon.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
ta-da.